There's no greater failure than failing to win an African Cup of Nations when you had the golden opportunity to win it.
They all had the golden opportunity. They were both present.
I'm talking about the context of one could have stayed on the pitch.
No, whether he stayed on the pitch or not, the other one was on the pitch. He win the game for you.
Debate Arena Sports Edition is recorded at the premises of Big League Sports and Games Lounge. Locate Big Leagues at Osu for a wonderful sports bar experience. Debate Arena Sports Edition is sponsored by Game Pack Games. Head on to their website www.gamepackgames.com and play for some big wins. Game Pack Games, more moolah, more power.
What's up?
Boss, how far?
I see you keep.
Maybe last week you see.
Forward.
For time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know they come.
Anyways, it's good to see you.
Again. Bro.
Okay.
Zambia and Nigeria were not deserving winners of their AFCON titles in 2012 and 2013. Do you agree or disagree?
Why? Why do you agree?
Yeah, especially for Zambia. I think it was more of miraculous. They were not exceptional. And you look at years before they came into the African Cup of Nations, they struggled a lot. And you look at the points gap that they were winning the games with. It was 1-0, 1-0. And in most games, especially against Ghana, it took a miracle for them to win. I think maybe faith and destiny wanted them to win, but actual determination, when you look at the metrics, it wasn't true.
I disagree. And starting with Zambia, because if you look at the build-up to that particular AFCON, everyone had basically not put them in any of the top 5 nations to win it. They even qualifying, they had to bring back Javi Renard, and anyone that knows him knows he's a good coach. They already had that sentimental value where they had lost that team that died in the plane crash. 18 players died. Now, if you look at that squad, they were still not rated because they had just 2 players playing in Asia and 3 playing in Europe. And even the ones playing in Europe, actually it's 2 playing in Europe, they were playing in Switzerland. So they weren't a good squad. But if you look at how Javi Renard sets his team up, counter-attacking football was one thing that stood out, and everyone believed in them once they got to the round of 16 and the quarterfinals. What was exceptional was how Mini fell in love with their football when 70th minute, 75th minute, they played with so much energy. And one thing that affected Ghana was that game where they all fell asleep. They were tired after 70th minute. And that's when the Zambians had more energy. Now, the reason why I think they are more deserving is if you look at that final, they played with their hearts out. They played as if they really wanted to win. And I don't think any of the teams deserved it more. If you look at the team that they faced, Ivory Coast, everyone will say, oh, Ivory Coast were the favorites. They had the likes of Dede Ayew and the rest. But when it comes to teams that deserve, it's those that put in the energy and the effort. Those that are willing to take it right to the nail and make sure that they eventually come home glorious. And that's what they did.
2 nations have won the last 2 African Cup of Nations, Senegal and Algeria. Now, among all these 2 sides, it wasn't miracles. It wasn't them being underdogs. It wasn't someone dying years ago and people feeling the spirit of those old people coming back into the team. If Ghana would ever win the AFCON, I want Ghana to win the AFCON on a clean slate, dominant, and then be able to put in the effort to win.
But when you talk about dominance, if you look at their group, they were top of their group. So what else do they need to be dominant? If they are winning their games, if they are finishing on top, there's nothing else you require from them. There's nothing like attacking football or defensive football. It's all football. At the end of the day, what counts is the victory and the 3 points.
2006, Italy won the World Cup.
Okay.
But what is on the lips of everyone is the 2010 World Cup when the Spanish national team won it. Why? Because of the style of football. Engrave your style of football in the hearts of people, and forever and ever they remember it.
You're talking about African football. Beauty of it never wins anything.
Beauty has won the last 2 African Cup of Nations.
Beauty? Are you sure Algeria plays beautiful football?
Algeria, the years they won it.
What years did they win it?
I think 2 years ago, the last edition, the last 2
editions.
They
played beautiful football.
Of course they did.
Victories. Bro,
they did. They were dominant. They were dominant in the games, Though maybe they struggle to score goals, but
So at the end of the day, it's the goals and the victories
see,
that
the
count.
football style is one thing. That is what the fans remember. And that is the problem of Ghana, basically. The Ghanaian fans are not seeing the Black Stars play good football.
No.
So the football is one side.
Yeah.
And then the other bit is get the goals. If it's 1-0 victory that the Black Stars are getting,
If they won a trophy, will you still be happy?
the Black Stars,
Yes.
with the good football,
Would you be okay if they won with
No,
1-0?
our scenario is very different and the context is very different because we have not won in a long time. And that's a
And
similar
look at the
similar
same thing to
context.
Zambia.
It's a similar context to the Zambian national team because they felt, well, the spirit of old has come back and we have won it. But in the hearts of people, it is Senegal and Algeria everyone remembers.
No, you're joking here because if you look at, you just brought up history. I asked you if Ghana was to win 1-0 or right there.
And I'm saying the context of Ghana winning will be the fact that we have not seen a trophy and God knows since
when
when.
was the last time Zambia saw a trophy?
So Zambia's scenario is similar to the stance if Ghana wins the African Cup of Nations. But I'm saying if my country would invest and play good football, it will be engraved in the hearts of every single football fan. And we'll remember it forever.
So you don't remember Zambia 2012?
No, I remember Senegal. I remember Algeria.
No, but Senegal
I remember
were even
Egypt.
last in their group. If we are going in that 2012, they were last in their group.
So I'm saying
So-
I remember the last time Senegal won the African Cup of Nations because of how dominant they were. I remember Algeria
But
for
what
the
about
kind of
Nigeria?
football.
2013.
Nigeria.
Yes. Do you also? So that means you also disagree.
I think Nigeria's scenario is a bit different compared to the Zambia one. The Zambia one is a special case study where they didn't deserve to win, but they won. But for Nigeria, yes, they had the team, but I think all the African sides were not as dominant as you put them to be. It was, and for Zambia too, I think African countries were struggling at that point in time. The quality in depth of teams wasn't that up there. So you look at the last couple of years in the African Cup of Nations and you see the quality has increased given the fact that there are lots of foreign exploits in our league and most of the African countries are going into what they now call the transfer market of national teams. So it's quite different. But see, these two countries would have been different if we had this modern day setups.
But we are not speaking about modern day setups. We are speaking about a context in time where these were the nations that were competing. Ghana had the best of squads. Ivory Coast, Nigeria was still struggling to find their feet. In fact, in that 2013 AFCON, Nigeria, before heading there, had their own issues. Their government stepped in, even trying to dissolve the team. Not dissolve, but punish the team heavily for their failure to do anything massive in their last few editions that they had been to. And FIFA had to step in eventually. For them to eventually win it in 2013 means that at the end of the day, they put in the effort, they gave the hard work, and they were able to deliver with a trophy. If I come to your house and I tell you, your son is no good, your son doesn't do well in class, and at the end of the day, your son finished first the next semester, are you telling me that you will not be happy? Or are you telling me he doesn't deserve it? He deserves it. So at the end of the day, I still believe that Zambia and Nigeria winning the AFCON were deserved winners at that particular point in history. And there's no one that's going to take that from them. Thank you.
If my team ever wanted to win the African Cup of Nations, they should win it deservedly. Thank you.
Dede Ayew not taking the third penalty cost Ghana the 2015 AFCON trophy. Do you agree or disagree?
You are back again. Why do you disagree?
Let me start with you. Why do you think you agree?
I'll answer your question first, but no worries, I'll answer you. I agree because if you look at that particular penalty shootout with Ivory Coast, it was at a point where we needed to win the AFCON that bad. Okay. And we had played 2 penalties, scored all 2. Ivory Coast had missed all 2. The third penalty is so crucial that you need someone who is a big game player, someone that can step up in the moment and deliver. At that particular moment, there was no better player than Dede Ayew because in that particular AFCON, he was one of the best players for Ghana. If he had stepped up to score the third penalty and Ivory Coast had even scored, we still have 2 more slots to play. If they had missed, knowing the pressure being on them, then the last penalty is a decider. So when Akwa missed the penalty, it automatically changed the game. It changed the shootout, and it gave more hope to the Ivorians than the Ghanaians. And that's why I feel if Dede Ayew had stepped up, he was the one that took the 5th penalty, but we went on to play about 11 or 12 penalties in the long run. But he playing 2 penalties after, and the 2 people that played before him missing was really, really crucial for Ivory Coast, and that's what led to the swing.
Baby Jet was in the frame. He was the general captain. Andre was just the captain. So in terms of seniority, Baby Jet was supposed to be in the squad or the lineup of those who kick penalties. Now, when you study the penalties taken by the Black Stars players from 2006, Baby Jet has kicked the most penalties. And he was the general captain before we went into that African Cup of Nations. Baby Jet was the guy, but he decided not to go off because of personal decisions. 2 years after, Baby Jet came in and kicked the penalty for the Black Stars. Why did he change his mind? So Baby Jet was needed in that particular, and this is something that, it hurts me so much because that was our golden opportunity to win the African Cup of Nations. Since 1990, 1992, I don't know anyone listening to us who has seen Ghana win an African Cup of Nations. Maybe my dad saw Ghana winning, but personally, I've not seen it. And that was a golden opportunity. My family, myself, everyone was there, watching the Black Stars, but still a golden opportunity to win it. And I won't blame Dede Ayew because there was someone senior than Dede Ayew, and it was the drone of the green team, Baby Jet.
But if you look at the people that took penalties that day, and you look at the players, I mean, all of them are good enough. But you're talking about the moments. If Baby Jet wasn't there at that moment, who is next?
Why did he decide to go off?
As for that one,
if Ghana has a golden opportunity of winning the African Cup of Nations, and I'm the general captain, and for God knows what reason, that I do not want to kick a penalty. Before they went for the AFCON 2015, Ghana, Baby Jet decided not to kick a penalty. But at that point in time, if I was Baby Jet, knowing very well that I am perhaps the best penalty kick taker in the team, would have stayed on.
No, but
it was a golden opportunity for him to cement his legacy as the greatest Ghanaian footballer of all time.
No, but golden opportunity. He still cemented it regardless. But
so he cements the role with a question mark, because we can equally argue in the context of who has won us the African Cup of Nations. Abedi Pele did it.
No, but you see, what you're missing here is, if you look at the question, we are looking at Dede Ayew, and you look at the penalty takers that day, the senior most person at that shootout was Dede.
So I'm also studying the trajectory before in the context of, are you becoming the only player who becomes a senior player in the squad? It makes it a totally different conversation, because yes, Ayew would have been the only guy, but if Baby Jet decided not to go off,
but that was Baby Jet's decision. It has nothing to do with the penalty shootout.
It has everything to do with the penalty shootout.
For me, I disagree.
If Baby Jet was in, it leaves two key players who would have kicked and won Ghana the AFCON. Dede Ayew 1, Baby Jet 2, because Ghana had gone 2 up. It was 2-0. No. So two key players who would have just outrightly won Ghana the African Cup of Nations. They bottled it.
So okay, Baby Jet's going off. After the 2 penalties were missed, we had about 7 penalty kickers, and they all scored.
Yeah.
Before the last one. So if Baby Jet is not there, and there are 7 other or 6 other people that are able to score consecutively, what's the problem?
The problem is this. When you study the pattern of penalty takers, that is why we have designated penalty takers in teams. Baby Jet, before that tournament, was Ghana's designated penalty taker.
And he went off.
Because of a personal decision.
So it's his personal decision.
So
take it that Baby Jet is injured.
Baby Jet was injured.
No, I said take it that he's injured.
I have not taken it.
Why would you take it? Because at the end of the day, he was taking off.
Because I'm not taking it.
No, he was taking off. So if he was taking off, you need to understand that there are other players on the field who can equally step up. And one of them was Dede Ayew.
So the other side of the coin is...
And what I want you to focus on here is, Dede Ayew playing the 5th penalty or the 4th penalty was a problem for Ghana. It's actually 5th because 2 were scored, 2 missed, then he comes to take the penalty. Now, if he had taken the 3rd penalty, understanding the moment, then yes, that could have saved us because then it completely seals the deal for Ghana, knowing Ivory Coast do not have a chance.
What is the percentage that whoever took it 5th will score or 4th will score?
No, so it's not about. So it's, as I said, in the moment.
So we could study the ifs.
Let me learn.
We could study the ifs.
No, I'm saying let me learn. In the moment, there's no if. In the moment, 2 players have taken. They've scored. Ivory Coast have missed 2. A 3rd penalty is a key point because if you score that one, there's left with 1 more penalty.
Let me take this sample. Let me take this sample. Hold on. Let me take this sample. Chelsea had kicked 4 penalties.
On the AFCON.
So we use other issues to study what happens. We use other issues to study what happens, and basically that's what we do in research. So if Chelsea had scored 4 penalties and John Terry kicks the last one, definitely in this era, after what happened, clubs have studied and realized the best penalty taker takes the last kick, and it's simple.
All right, we can agree to disagree. As for me, I'm standing by Dede Ayew taking the 3rd one.
They shouldn't have taken it.
Ayew's AFCON career is better than that of Gyan. Do you agree or disagree?
I answered the last one, so answer this one. Tell me why
I've answered
you agree.
2 straight questions.
Tell me why you agree
Agree that
that Dede has had a better AFCON career than Gyan.
this is difficult.
It is extremely difficult, but you have to answer it.
Yes, so simple. They did 10 goals in the African Cup of Nations, the most by a Ghanaian. And you look at the number of games Dede has played compared to Gyan, the appearances, and also his input in the national team. For most parts, that I'll get your point when you raise the fact that Baby Jet has been key in certain areas for the Black Stars, especially the malaria goal and then all the extras. Yes, but Dede Ayew, ever consistent part of the Black Stars team. And again, going back to our last argument, when Ghana needed him the most, Baby Jet decided to go off. It was Ayew who stood up for the Black Stars, holding the captain's armband. It's the son of Abedi Pele, the greatest Ghanaian ever. He's the one. He's the guy.
Let me tell you why I disagree. And it's nice that you have this emotional attachments to the armband and everything, but we need to understand something here. In 10 years of both Dede Ayew and Asamoah Gyan, did they achieve anything for the nation?
0.
Do they have similar accomplishments and achievements individually?
Yeah.
Okay. What would separate the two for you? And this is where I come in. What separates the two for me is never have we been to an AFCON and we finished dead last without a single victory. Never. Under anyone's watch. The first time it happened was under who? Dede Ayew. Never has it happened. And that was recently AFCON 2021.
So I get your point you're making. I will let you
finish. You have to understand that if I am counting your achievements and I look at you as a leader and I look at you as someone that has had an impact in the team, and I'm comparing you to someone that has also had a similar impact in the team, what separates the two of you is where you failed. And one key place that Dede Ayew has failed is leading the team or maintaining a particular standard that we've had to the Ghana national team. And that key point has been the AFCON 2021. Never have we fallen so low where we are a laughingstock to other nations. Teams that we should be treating as if they are training games are battling with us on the field. A nation that had one of its players with a sticker or a sellotape at the back to draw the number is winning or having an equal game with us, playing on the same level as if they are co-equals. That has never happened before. And I can never agree with Dede Ayew on that level that he has had a better career knowing this has happened in the AFCON.
There's no greater failure than failing to win an African Cup of Nations when you had the golden opportunity to win it?
They all had the golden opportunity. They were both present.
I'm talking about the context of one could have stayed on the pitch.
No, if whether he stayed on the pitch or not, the other one was on the pitch. Did he win the game for you?
What happened to?
Did he win the game for you?
What happened to the Black Stars versus Zambia when Baby Jet missed the penalty?
Everyone misses penalty.
Everyone doesn't miss a penalty. You get the golden opportunity to give Ghana the lead against someone who is spiritually motivated. No way.
Mane has missed the penalty. Salah has missed the penalty. Are they dead?
They have not missed crucial penalties. Crucial penalties for their national team.
Yes, they have.
National team.
Yes.
Baby Jet.
Yes.
He misses.
No, but you need to
when you need Baby Jet the most.
No, but you need to understand that even with penalty is a moment in a game. At the end of the day, there were other opportunities. Why didn't yours achieve that? If he was on the pitch and was that good. They both failed in that respect. So you have to understand that it's an equal playing field there. But what separates the two is, okay, now the other is not there. You are the leader. We're looking at AFCON and solely AFCON. We've had our worst AFCON in history. There's no way anyone is going to defend you knowing
listen to this. I will take
on the field for all 3 games. I will agree with you.
I will take the Black Stars getting kicked out of the group stages of the African Cup of Nations
without a single victory.
Without a single victory.
Knowing very well they played who and who in the group.
Knowing very well we played Gabon and etc.
And who? Mention the other team. Mention the other team.
I'm coming. I'm making my point. I'm saying we lost against Comoros. We lost against but the key thing is I will take the Black Stars.
Are you scared to mention?
I'm saying I will take the Black Stars getting kicked out of the African Cup of Nations in the group stages to we losing out on a golden opportunity to win the African Cup of Nations.
You've gotten to the final. Okay. Anyways, I cannot argue any further.
The Black Stars always.
Ghana would have beaten Nigeria if they had met in the 2013 final. Do you agree or disagree?
We agree. No, but for real, I think if you look at that particular AFCON, I wasn't so impressed knowing that we fell short to Burkina Faso. And we must admit that Burkina Faso team was solid. Yeah. In fact, that legend of a player who had a hair that we all laugh at, looking like a fufu pounding steak. But genuinely, that guy was solid. The whole Burkina Faso team played like they really wanted it more than us. And Nigeria reaching that AFCON final, for me, it feels like they had put in all their energy knowing that this was the moment. They had to take it. And knowing the history of Ghana, not being able to capitalize on finals and major games like that, big games like that, there's no way I'm going to bank my hope on Ghana. But I still think Ghana had a solid team. It's just that I don't think we wanted it as bad as Nigeria wanted it. And I'm really happy that we had a discussion about Nigeria winning it in 2013 because they're going up against Burkina Faso. It was clear, Charlie, Nigeria wanted it more.
They were quite dominant in the African Cup of Nations that year. I think the manager found the perfect balance in the team.
Yeah.
The attacking potential mixed with Victor Moses, and then Mikel Obi doing justice in midfield. It was really, really brilliant.
Yeah, I think what also impressed me was the fact that they were able to gradually, they took their time in the AFCON. The first few games were a bit rough, but by the third game, going into the knockout phase, they looked like, Charlie.
They deserved it.
They deserved it. And it's AFCON football as well. It's he who wants it more.
Of course,
yeah. Good.